Alright, in this video I'm going to give you a review here on the Hitec X4AC Pro multi-charger. It's kind of my first experience doing a sort of in-depth review, so bear with me. I'll go through bits as I can. If you guys have any questions or anything, at any point, leave comments, let me know. The reason I picked this particular charger is a couple different reasons. One of which is that this is what I've been using for quite some time. Eternity IQ-Cell 6 only charges one battery at a time, and it did its purpose pretty well. But there came a point that I just needed to be able to charge more than one battery at a time, and this thing can do 4. The other reason why I picked this particular charger is that it actually allows you to set power settings for the different channels, different ports on here. So, I can, I've got some larger batteries and some smaller batteries, so I could actually run, more wattage, say, out of this channel to charge a bigger battery, and maybe a smaller wattage out of this channel to charge a smaller battery. So I like the flexibility that I could do that, rather than having to be just limited, to the wattage per channel. I can actually designate different wattages per channel. So those are the two big reasons why I picked this particular charger. Now let me go ahead and throw you up some specs on the charger, so you guys can see some of the technical stuff there, and then I'm going to go ahead and get started and dive into this thing. Alright, let me go ahead and give you guys a little bit of an overview of the charger. As I said, it is a 4-port charger. You have your port A, your port B, port C, and port D. And let me go ahead and show you how the connectors are on the different ports here. Of course, here you have your positive and negative charge ports, your balance port, and your temperature port. And then there, also on this side is one of the cooling fans for the unit. On the front here you have your port C and D with your positive and negative charge ports for that, balance ports for that, the temperature ports, as well as a standard USB port here so you can charge like your cell phone. And also here is a PC Link port if you wish to upgrade, say, like the firmware or software on the actual charger itself. Over here on this side is the B port, your positive and negative charge ports there, balance port there, and the temperature port right there. And of course the other cooling fan on this side. And on the back here, we have your on and off switch, your standard AC connector or power plug right here. And this is actually another cool thing I like about this charger as well. You can run an AC mode, which will give you 200 watts total on the charger, or you can also run a DC, which will give you actually 300 watts. So at the time, I do not have a power supply that can run this thing on DC. I think it needs to be at least a 30 amp. So I don't have anything right now to run it on DC, so I've been kind of forced to have to run it on AC. And as far as the front of the charger here, right here you have your channel ABCD button here, your stop button here if you're in a certain, if you want to stop charging or stop on the particular menu that you're on. This is kind of like an escape button, so to speak, and let you exit that particular menu. Of course, your minus and plus here, this allows you to change like voltage settings, amp settings, and also advance or backup, within the different menus and things in the charger. And of course your start button here to actually start the charging process, as well as to enter in certain menus and things. And the unit itself is a pretty tough plastic, so I think it's pretty durable. Now if this thing were to accidentally fall, from a pretty decent height or something like that, it probably could crack this or break it, but overall it is a pretty durable unit. And as far as the plugs that come with it, of course it does come with a standard, AC cord there. Um, this is what they call like a universal balance board. Has a lot of various connectors on it. Um, Ones I've never seen before, honestly, but that's okay. This has like your standard balance board. I was kind of disappointed. I was kind of expecting it to maybe come with more balance boards than what it did. It just came with just these two. I would thought, a 4-port charger, then maybe it should come with 4 balance boards, but oh well. So I would recommend picking up some additional balance boards, especially if you do, lipo balance charging like I do. So, like I said, you might want to consider getting some additional balance boards. And here's some of the charging cables that came with it. I thought this selection was pretty decent. These are 2 charging cords that have no ends on them whatsoever. You can solder your own connectors on there. If you want to do, solder on your own XT30s, XT60s, EC3, EC5s. So that's kind of like, up to whatever you want to do. So there's those. They call this a receiver battery charging cord is what this one is for. And then here is a XT60. And last one over here is the Dean's charger, so it does come with that as well. Okay, so that's kind of what it comes with, and I'm going to go ahead and get this thing powered on, get some batteries plugged up, and show you what it does. Alright, got everything hooked up here, as you see. Got 4 different batteries all hooked up. Got my 5,000 milliamps off these 2 channels here, A and B, and off C and D. I've got my 2200s all hooked up, ready to go. And I'm going to show you what this thing looks like when it first turns on. So I'll flip the switch there. Now it's going to come up and give you this little safety disclaimer thing first. So, obviously make sure not to leave your charger unattended. I'm going to go ahead and hit start, and that'll take me to the main menu here. Now before I dive into getting things charging, let me show you something really cool here. Okay, I got most all these set except for this last one here, which I'm going to go ahead and show you. I'm going to go over to system settings, so I'm going to go ahead and use my plus and minus buttons here. So system setting, I'll hit start, and this will take you into some of the advanced system settings within the charger. So usually minus gets me there quicker. There we go. Alright, as you see here, this actually sets the wattage setting for each particular channel. Now with an AC mode, the A and C channels together is 100 watts and the B and D channel is 100 watts. And like I said, I can set how much power is going to each channel through this setting right here. So if you look, I've got mine set to be 70 watts on A, 30 watts on C, which equals 100 watts, or 70 watts on B, and 30 watts on D, which gives me 100 watts there. Now if I want to change any of these, I'll just go ahead and hit start on whatever channel that I want to work on. I can do, use my channel button here to go to a different channel. But if I go to channel D, which is what I'm going to go ahead and just kind of show you what it looks like here and change it, I'll hit start. And you can see it's flashing there. Use my plus and minus to make those changes. So that makes it 35 watts, and then makes channel B 65 watts. So this will always work in sync there. But I'm going to go and leave it at 70 and 30. And go and get it all set that way. Like I said, system settings is how you actually get into that. And I'm going to dive more into the system settings later, but I want to go and at least show you guys this cool feature and one of the reasons why I picked this charger. So, anyways, let's get off this and we'll show you guys how to start charging some batteries. Alright, now when the unit boots up, it's going to come up to basically this right here, showing you what each channel and the type of battery you wish to run. Now you can use your plus and minus to change the type of battery. So So this will do NiCads, Life batteries, LiPos of course, and some other types as well. For this particular review though, I mainly have LiPo batteries, so that's what we're going to be showing you guys how to do. So let me go ahead and show you the process on how to do a LiPo battery charge. This will be working on channel A. So over on channel A, I've got my 5,000 milliamp 3S battery. So I'll hit my start button here. And you can do your plus and minus to determine what kind of charge you want to do. I always do a balanced charge, of course, so that make sure all cells are balanced. You can also do discharge, storage charge, you know, like a quick fast charge. You know, if you, like I said, I always do balanced charges. So let's go ahead and show you how this process works for that. So once you get your actual charge setting set, hit your start button. This will advance you to set your current, your amperage. So this is a 5,000 milliamp. So I'm going to set this up to 5 amps. Now remember, I actually had set this particular port to be a 70 watt port. So it'll be pulling close to 70 watts to charge this out of port A here. So I got 5 amps there. I always do 1S charges. I normally don't go above that. So hit start. That'll take me to the next option where I can select if this is a 2S battery, you know, and keep going through here. So 2S, 3S, 4S, 5S, and 6S. So this is a 3S battery. And the confirmation is a two-step process. You'll hit start once. It's going to basically show you the setting that you picked and also the battery that is connected to it. So let me show you how that works here. So you'll actually have to go through a confirmation before it will actually start charging. So I've got LiPo balance charge, charging at 5 amps, 1S charge rate, and set on a 3S battery, which is exactly what that is. So I'll push. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hold my start button. It'll beep. And here's the confirmation. That's what I put in. That's what's there. And I hit start. And there it goes. And if we look a little closely here, you can see a little battery meter that shows you the percentage actually being charged. Okay. So that thing is rolling along there. So let me switch this over to channel C. Again, this is a LiPo battery. It is not a Life battery or anything. So set it on LiPo. Hit start. I'm going to, of course, do a balance charge again. I'll hit start again. Change it up to, like I said, I always do, you know, at least a 1S charge. I'll go ahead and just do 2 amps on it. I mean, it doesn't make much difference, really. So a 2 amp charge on this one. And then, of course, it is a 3S battery. I will hold my start button again. I'll do a little beep. There's my confirmation. Hit start, and there we go. So there I have 2 batteries charging. I'm going to go ahead and get these other batteries rolling as well and show you this thing charging all 4 batteries at the same time. Alright, so of course, like I said, we have the 4 batteries charging all at the same time. If you want to stop any of these as they are charging, you just of course hit your channel button that you want to select to stop. You know, of course, you can always, of course, wait for them to finish charging, of course, but if you need to stop them for whatever reason, hit your stop button here, and then, of course, we'll stop that particular port from charging that battery. One thing I will say about this unit while it's charging, it is, even though there are 2 cooling fans on it, and I can kind of hear one right now, it is actually a very quiet unit. It doesn't get real loud. The only time I've ever heard it really get noisy is when you are discharging or putting something in storage. At those particular times, the fans, of course, will kick up a little bit higher, which we'll go into storage charge here in just a moment. Something else I didn't show you guys as well is that while the battery is charging, you can also do some things to monitor it, such as see your individual cell voltages. This right here will show you the percentage charged and the average cell voltage. So you can see things like that as well. Now some other cool things here too. I went ahead and backed out of each particular channel. So I'm on LiPo battery, and of course, like I said, you can go and change the type of battery. If I go back, here's battery memory. Of course, here's your system settings. I'm going to go into that in just a minute here. Your resistance, there is an internal resistance meter. If I hit start on that, it's going to check that particular battery and show me my internal resistance. Battery meter, if I hit that, that will show me, you know, the cell voltages on that particular battery. That, of course, will show me the overall voltage on that battery. There, it looks like your high and low voltages there. Okay, now we're going to dive into system settings. This is where you can actually set certain parameters on the charger itself. This is where I went into to set the AC power settings to where I can say 70 watts for this channel, 30 watts for this channel, and so on. That is all accessible through the system settings here. So if I hit start, that'll take me into it. Here is a safety timer, 120 minutes. So if I go ahead and hit the plus here, this is your capacity cutoff. Here is a temperature cutoff on the unit. If the temperature gets to to that particular degree, and of course we'll shut the unit off to protect it from damage. Of course, here's this. You can see your temperature unit, setting for Celsius or Fahrenheit. Metal hydride sensitivity, and then there's your NiCad sensitivity. This is a setting here that I did change. Out of the box, the unit beeps like crazy. Every time you go through, channel A, B, C, or D, into any option, it beeps constantly. So I definitely went in there and more of an annoyance for me, but you guys may not care. But the beeping was just too much, so I went ahead and turned this off. Now this has to be turned off per channel. So you have to go to channel A and do this, channel B and do this, channel C and do this, and channel D and do this. So kind of a pain in the butt, but it can be done. This is your DC input low, cut off 11 volts. I should mention the menu structure on this is almost identical, or probably is pretty much is identical to my Turnigy AccuCell 6. So some of these settings and even the method on how to charge the batteries was it's like I really didn't have to read the instructions to get into here and charge batteries. So it was laid out very much the same way. Balance connections on. Here's your AC max power setting. Like I said, for channel D, I set it to 30 watts, and then this is the 70 watt one over here. So here's the software version here, and then it's back over to safety timer. So a lot of cool options that you can change in here. The AC max power might be something you might want to play with, and of course some of the safety timers and the capacity cutoff, that one right there. Those are some good safety things that you all might need to adjust as if you get the charger. All right. Something else I do want to show you guys too is that this does, if you have, let's just say that, for example, you don't plan on using your LiPo batteries for a certain length of time, you can put your batteries in storage charge. And what that's going to do is bring the voltages down to a level that will be safe to actually put them in storage to not be used for a while. So I don't remember the exact number. I'm thinking it's close to 3.7 volts per cell. So let me go ahead and get that started here. Now, one thing about doing any kind of discharge on these types of chargers, my AccuCell was the same way, is that the amperage is never going to really get much above 1 amp. It may get, this one may get to 2 amps, it just depends. They're always going to discharge extremely slow. So my recommendation is to run them down as much as you can to that particular voltage, and then let the charger sort of finish it off. So I'm just going to show you how to do a storage charge on here. It's the same procedure as doing a regular charge. You just got to select the storage option instead. And I'm just dropping the the amperage down here just to 1 amp. Like I said, it probably will not creep up much above that at all. So let me go ahead and get that started. It's a 3S battery. And hold it in to do the check. Alright, and here we go. And on discharges and storage charges especially, the fans will kick on. It is going to generate a lot of heat from the unit. So keep that in mind. You will get that. And, you know, if you've got 4 batteries, you know, like I have here, and you actually try to run them on a storage charge or storage discharge, it is really going to put a lot of a huge load on the charger itself. So I wouldn't recommend doing all at once. The system, I did it one time just for a little bit, and it seemed to do okay. But the problem was is that, like I said, it generated a lot of heat. The fans were really, you know, high RPM, and you know, it was. I didn't keep it that way, so I kind of shut it off and just did 1 battery at a time. And one more thing I'm going to show you guys is that this charger, of course, does come with its own app. Now, I'm running an Android phone, so this is the Android app here, this Hitec X4 Pro icon, so I'm going to hit that. Let's go pull up this menu here, and it's going to enable my Bluetooth. So there it is. So I'm going to highlight the charger. Now you can set up a password for this, but I'm just going to ignore that for now. Okay, and as you see here at the top, here's your different channels, A, B, C, and D. Here's where you check you select the battery type, where it's LiPo, lithium ion, you know, the life batteries. So this is where you make your selection for that. Looks like your number of cells on the battery. And of course over here the different types of charging or discharging you wish to use. So let me go and demonstrate this for you so you can kind of see how that works. And start up a new setup. I'm going to go ahead and just do a LiPo 3-cell, and we'll do a balance charge on this one. Hit my next on that. And this is my other 5,000 milliamp 3-cell. I'm going to charge this at 1S, so I'm going to go ahead and select a, you know, well, 1S charge, will be 5 amps. Of course, it won't be, there's my discharge current's already set there. Okay, so LiPo 3-cell balance charge, and let me go ahead and start it. Just doing the battery check, and there it goes. So automatically on the charger, and here it is on the app again. Pretty cool. And of course, I go to channel C, do the same thing. Some other things here too. Of course, home will bring you back to this screen here. Program. This is actually where you can set up different, like the battery memory feature in the charger. That's what actually this is for. So this is where you can set up different types of batteries. We're going to hit System. This brings up a lot of these system settings that you had seen in the charger, the safety timer, the capacity cutoff, temperature cutoff. Here's a quick way to turn off the beeping. And of course here you can change your password on the charger, the app as well. So the app is really cool. The only thing that I have not tested with the app is that it operates on Bluetooth, and you know, I was reading up on the range on Bluetooth, and I was thinking it was around 300 feet or something like that. So if you happen to walk away with your phone with the charging app running and all that, It could very well, depending on how far you are away from the charger, it could very well disconnect the app from the charger itself. So I'm not too sure on the range and all that kind of stuff for anyone who's tried it. I haven't tried it myself, so I'm not sure how that would work. But that is something to consider. If you get away from the charger far enough, then your app is very well going to disconnect. You won't be able to monitor it. But at the same time, too, for safety concerns, you really should not walk away from the charger while it's charging your batteries. All right, so that is all I'm going to show you guys on the Hitec X4 AC Pro charger. Like I said, you can kind of hear the fans now because I'm discharging this one battery over here. So when you discharge, your batteries, it of course is going to, make the unit run a little bit harder than what you would commonly would expect. So that's why I said I recommend discharging your batteries, through your plane or your RC thing that you have first, as close as you can to storage charge, and then let the charger, of course, do the rest. So, but when you're doing a storage charge mode, like I said, it is going to make the charger run a little bit hotter, but it should be fine, of course. Well, I'm going to go ahead and disconnect everything for now. And I do want to thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions on the charger itself, please leave me some comments and everything below. I'll be glad to answer them for you. Honestly, from my experience with this charger, I've had it a few weeks now. Actually, probably about 3 or 4 weeks now. And I think it's great. It's a great investment. I'd highly recommend it. And like I said, if you have any questions, just let me know. I want to thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.